Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast, episode 216 for Tuesday, the 23rd of July, 2024. I'm your host, Mark Webb, Gamertag, Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby360G, and joining me today is...
Amorphous Material 30. I'm sorry, I mean Sensei Switch.
That's it. That's just me and thee this week. So Graham is out and about eating dinner. He's gone out. He's cancelled to go and have dinner. I mean, that is just unforgivable.
Good move.
Oh, I know. and then Nick was meant to be on, but 5 minutes ago, his girlfriend called in sick for him. Oh dear.
I don't know. Do you reckon we've got a bit of a misery thing going on?
I don't know what's going on.
She's got him tied up in bed.
Maybe. I don't know what Angelos is on about in the chat. He said something about 12.12. How rude. I don't know what he means. But, yeah, going for dinner. I know, mate. Going for dinner is very rude. And I can't believe it's like a Nick getting his girlfriend to call in sick for him, man. That's like something you know. This makes me laugh. It makes me remember. The reason it made me laugh was because I think back to when I was 16 and I had my first job at Sainsbury's, and I wasn't very well, but I was too scared to call in sick, so I got my mum to do it for me.
I have had my share of putting on a older voice to ring up for certain girls to pretend to be their dads.
Oh, that's funny.
Tell them they can't come into work and stuff.
That's funny as. Oh dear. So yeah, it's just us two. So I don't think we're going to be super long this week.
You say?
I'll say, and then 3 hours later we'll still be here. Always happens, right? If you see me waving my hands around like weird, it's because there's a little fly in there, and it's I'm having to bat it away. It's being very annoying.
Just eviscerate it.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen these adverts. I don't know what it is, right? I swear my phone is listening to me. So I was talking.
They kind of do.
Yeah, because whenever I talk about something, I'll get an advert for it when I go on the Facebook app on my phone.
Yeah.
And I was talking about flies the other day, and then I was getting all these adverts. It's for this fly gun. This is basically a gun, but you load it with salt, and you shoot the flies with the salt gun. Yeah.
All right.
Looks pretty cool, actually, but no.
You should start talking about body disposal. See what that starts bringing up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's mad because like whatever I'm talking about, I normally get an advert for it. So if I talk about pants, oh yeah, so I was talking about pants, funnily enough, with the wife because I've this is going to sound really sad and it's not gaming related at all, but talking about subscriptions, right? So I've been saying to the
subscribe to a pants monthly or something.
This is basically what I was going to say. Yes.
Every month.
So I was saying to the missus, right? Oh, I'm a bit low on pants. I need some new ones because they're all getting like old and holes in that. So I was throwing them away and that. And I was like, so we went to like M&S. And I was like, oh, the pant like boxers are really expensive now. I was like, I'm not going to pay this sort of money for boxers. And then I got home and I saw an advert on Facebook, and this is an advert that actually worked for me about boxer short. Well, there's a few websites that do it, but they do boxers, pants, socks, whatever. Subscription. So you pay a monthly fee. It's £11 a month, right? It's this place called Oddballs. So you should check it out. Oddballs. Let's have a look. Oddballs.com. And basically, every month, here you go. Then they send you a pair of boxers every month. But you also get, on your subscription, a pair of socks as well. So every month, I get a pair of boxers and a pair of socks for £11. And I just thought it was quite funny. So these are the ones I got this month. So they do like a different pattern every month.
Oh, so it's not like different materials, so they ain't going to send you like 1 month you get some silkies, next month you get some like woolen ones or something.
Nah, so they've got like it's normal. I don't know what the material is, but they do.
Nylon, I think it usually is, isn't
Yeah,
it?
so look, so you get like your pants and your socks, but they do a different, as I say, a different pattern every month. But they also do a bamboo ones for £13 a month. But I just go for the normal ones. And you get a pair of socks as well. So I thought to myself, so I said to the missus, so if I do that,
I take it it's a bamboo pattern and not they're made of bamboo.
no, they're made of bamboo.
What?
Yeah, yeah, quite a lot of you can get quite a few clothes that are made of bamboo now. Yeah, yeah, seriously.
Bizarre.
Yeah. So I said to the missus, I said, "Oh, if I do this for a year, then I'll have 12 pairs of pants and 12 pairs of socks, and
No.
then I'll just cancel it."
You'll always lose one or two of the socks and you'll be down to like 10 or 11 pairs.
Then I was even more sad, and I said to the missus, I said, "Oh, do you want to do this as well?" So now I've got two subscriptions, so we both get a matching pair of pants and socks every month. I know. Because I do the ladies' ones. I also do like
Alright, that's
bras and
fair.
stuff. Yeah, but you got the knickers and stuff. So yeah, I just thought it was pretty funny.
So what's the
Yeah,
website?
oddballs.com.
So what's the women's version? Odd Flaps.
No, well, it's all the same thing, but it's actually
Alright.
like originally, I was reading up about the site, and it was originally just for men's boxer shorts and pants and stuff, but they've expanded out to do women's products as well. But it's all about health, but they put a lot of their money into charity for testicular cancer research
Yeah,
and
makes
stuff.
sense, yeah.
Yeah, so on every single pack of boxes you get, it sounds like an advert. I swear to God, I'm not getting paid for this. I wish I was. It has a little guide on how to check your balls for lumps and stuff. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, I just thought, yeah, I'll do it. It's £11 a month, and it's like another subscription to add to me Game Pass and PlayStation Plus and Netflix and Amazon Prime and everything else. There's no wonder I don't have any money. But yeah, pretty cool. So that's I don't know why you mentioned this. I just because it's a subscription. I suppose it was quite an interesting thing, really.
I mean, like they've had all of those other ones that were all the rage for a while, didn't they? Like the sort of like gift boxes and stuff that you'd get, and they'd be
Loot
differently themed.
Crate.
That's it, Loot Crate, and that. Didn't they
Yeah.
go bankrupt?
No, I think they're still going. Actually, yes, they are.
Oh, all right,
Now,
fair enough. Fair enough.
now, what's quite interesting about Loot Crate is I know Angelos, who's listening, did Loot Crate for a while because they do a look. So if you look here, they've got a Fallout one. So they have like Fallout stuff, and they've got like all different ones, Elder Scrolls, and they've got I know they've got an F. There's an F1 Loot Crate as well. I don't think it's made by these people. Um, yeah, they've got
Probably
five of them.
costs twice as much. The premium experience.
Yeah, the Fallout ones. It's £30 or $30 a month, but this is one I thought Gavin would like. All the
Oh, and they
figures
just
and
fill it
stuff.
with different Fallout stuff every month,
Yeah,
rather than it just being like a Fallout themed one for one
yeah,
month.
yeah. Oh, it's every 2 months. It's delivered to your door every 2 months. Shit, so that's $30 a month. You're paying
So
$60
$60.
per loot box.
But then again, like depends on what you get in there. If you get like loads of cool figures and things like that, they're probably
Yeah,
worth more than what they are anyway.
yeah. Oh, they've got a UK. How much is it to the UK? Alright. I just think it's quite cool. I'm sure they used to do more than that. There's only 5 on here. Wizarding World, so Harry Potter fans would like that.
So they all themed now because obviously you used to just get
Yeah,
one that'd be random.
yeah.
Each month it would turn up and it was like a random thing. It'd be like, oh, it's this time it's Transformers, next time it's going to be gardening or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm surprised. I thought they would do more stuff than this, but yeah, it's not actually. They don't do many on here now. It's a
Shall we
lot of
lower the
money, though, isn't
tone
it?
and start talking about games?
Yeah, might as well. Might as well, mate. So I'm not sure where to begin because I've actually played a new game this week. Shock horror.
Wow.
There's been a couple of new games out actually. I've only played one of them. One of them's actually on Game Pass, I noticed, but it didn't get very good reviews. I've not actually downloaded it. That's Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn.
All right, yeah.
That's been getting a little bit of hate online, but it's been getting like 6 and 7s out of 10s in actual reviews. So take from that what you will. But the other game that came out not on Game Pass, it is a purchase. I just want to tell people how much it is on Steam. £18 on Steam. Nobody Wants to Die.
Nice. I saw this week, and I'd never heard of it before, and by the trailer and everything, I was kind of like, this looks really interesting,
Yeah,
and I hope it gets a physical at some point. But at the moment, it's digital only, which is understandable considering it's an under £20 game.
yeah. Now, I actually I've not played it maybe an hour and a half today,
Mm.
and my initial impressions are quite positive on it actually. Frosties has actually just mentioned to me that it works in VR as well, which I think's
Holy shit!
quite an
Nice.
interesting concept actually. Because while I was playing it, I actually thought to myself, "Well, this would probably be quite interesting in VR because it's all in first person." Um,
Is it? It's not actiony, is it? It's more
no.
interactive storytelling.
Yeah, so actually, the actual setting itself reminds me very much of Blade Runner.
Yes, it had that kind of futuristic noir kind of
Yes,
tone.
it's set in New York, but obviously, like in Blade Runner, all the cars are flying around in lines instead of on the roads. And but it's kind of like got a cool theme. So, like the car you're in, it feels very kind of like a '60s style shape of car, but obviously set in the future, yeah, where all the cars are flying. So it's got kind of a cool mixture of styles, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Um, but basically, you're a cop, um, and basically you've been through some stuff where your wife died, and and basically you're drinking a bit of alcohol and stuff, and you've been signed off, but you then get put on this unofficial mission and you are teamed up with somebody else. But the other person you're teamed up with, it's all on the radio, so and they can see what you see because you have a camera as well. And it is a very story heavy game. It's very slow. So if you're not really into them sort of games, I wouldn't bother. It at the moment, there's been no combat or anything. It's all been driving the car around and then into like the first mission area. And it's all, it's not an open world or anything. It's all, you're all, guided through everything. And then so the first area you're walking around it and there's like a crime scene and you get these gadgets. So you got a few different ones. So you got like a UV light to look for blood and fingerprints and stuff like that. But the most interesting one is you got this. I'm going to fast forward this video. You might actually see it. Yeah, so you got
Is it
this.
like the singularity kind of thing where you can rewind time
Yeah, so you got this
or
wrist
something?
thing, as you can see on the. If you're watching the video, and you use your left and right triggers, and it can rewind. Not time, but you can see back in the past, if that makes sense, to see how a crime's happened. But like the crime that you investigate in the first mission, like someone's tinkered with the past, like the rewind thing. So like you can see the guy has been murdered, but the person who's done it isn't in the frame, if that makes sense. He's not there, doesn't like so.
Yeah, because it's like in this similar thing, wasn't it? Like Cyberpunk, where you go into some of the weird hack things, and you went into that VR stuff. But then, like,
Yeah,
you'd go in to look at certain people, and the faces is all scrambled,
yeah,
like someone's gone
yeah,
in and erased the identity, kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah. It's I'm really liking it. So it seems to have a really weird thing to it, where basically you like so basically you have this thing in your head. This is the way that I'm kind of early on and trying to get the story. So basically, no one dies, right? So like the character you've played with is like 120 years old. So basically, you pay a monthly subscription for a body. So so when your body ages, you can like on every Friday, all these kind of like these bodies come up for sale or whatever, and then
Right.
you buy this new body, and then your memory, consciousness, whatever, gets transferred into the new body. But
Right.
but to do that, you got to pay a monthly fee, and it's a lot. But your character's a police officer, and if you're in the public sector, you get a 50% discount on your monthly subscription. Yeah,
Right.
so it's quite an interesting premise, actually. So basically, your mission, like this person's body's died, and you got to retrieve their thing out of their head, so they could put it into a new body, I guess. But stuff happens. I'm not going to say any more because I don't want to ruin the story. But I think it's just a really cool premise. That's something that I've not really. I mean, I remember there was a movie years ago. I don't know if it had Leonardo DiCaprio in or someone where you sold time on your life or something. Like there wasn't
Oh,
money.
that was yeah, the Out of Time. I think it was with Justin Timberlake
Justin
and someone
Timberlake. That's
else.
it. Yeah, so that's kind of the only thing that I could really think of that's kind of similar. Um, but no, I'm really liking the premise of this because the whole people don't die. You buy your new body, and I'm just kind of like wondering, well, where do these empty vessels bodies come from? I don't know. One thing that they hinted at the beginning was if you don't keep up your monthly subscriptions, the bailiffs will come after you and take your body.
Right.
So that might be something. I don't know. But it's really cool. And for an 18 quid game, I don't know how much it's on console. I'm sorry, I do not know. Check on your
It's about the
local
same
marketplace.
price. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's
around the
good.
same price. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I was just literally looking through, like, I think it was the PlayStation store the other day, and sort of saw it, and I was like, "Oh, that looks interesting." And then I looked it up online
Yeah.
just to see, and it obviously like had like some other things, and it sort of seems to be getting reasonably good reviews as well.
Yeah.
But I liked the setting and the premise of the game, and it's UE5, isn't it? That they're using and stuff. It reminded me of the kind of game that Peeps would like,
Yeah. Yeah.
because it
100%.
obviously had that sort of like kind of private eye
Yeah.
sort of he likes his Sherlock Holmesy type of stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah. That's right. And I just like the theme. So at the beginning, I'm showing it on the video now for people who are watching it on Twitch, and it's like you're high up at Times Square, you're watching all the cars travel past, all the adverts all over the buildings, like coming out of the buildings, very reminiscent of movies that are like trying to see what the future would be um, like Blade Runner, etc. And I think like for me, this game's kind of come out of nowhere. I had no idea about this game before it even came out, and graphically, we've just mentioned it is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. The lighting is beautiful. It just looks, the Unreal Engine just looks lovely. Um, and I know a lot of people who listen and are Xbox gamers especially are kind of like, oh, I only like doing my Game Pass or whatever. And I'm like, look, I would say, from my initial impressions, it's worth the 18 quid.
Yeah, it's
Um, it,
17.99 currently on Xbox.
yeah,
It's 10% off for a few days.
nice. I mean, I
So
don't
it's
know.
usually 20. Like it says
Yeah,
here, it's usually 20.
I don't know how long the game is or anything. I've not even looked at any reviews really or anything. So I'm just kind of. I looked at a video like the trailer, and I was like, I want to try this game.
I mean, to be honest, like when you said like the VR thing,
Yeah,
it wasn't long ago, was it, that I was basically moaning and saying like they're the kind of things you want to experience in VR. You want to go to like these weird and wonderful locations and places that you can't in real life.
yeah, yeah,
And obviously, like a super futuristic version of like New York or whatever would be pretty damn good.
yeah, yeah. It's really, really cool. So I've only done the first mission, so I'm very early on, but I wanted to check it out because I've really only got it this morning. And obviously it's Sunday, busy kids and all that, so I didn't really get a lot of time on it. Um, but as I say, it is really cool. It's really because I was just thinking to myself, oh, no, there's not really any single player games that I really want to play. I mean, I've got a huge backlog on Game Pass, but none of them are really jumping out to me, especially because I think quite a lot of them are JRPGs and I know they're going to be long, and I'm just like, can't be fucked right now. And this is just something completely different to the norm. It's very interesting. And yeah, it's a really cool game, mate. It's a shame there's no physical, and I think the problem is,
It might eventually. I mean, this
yeah,
with not all of them, with it being like a kind of indie or a smaller dev, they don't necessarily always go day and date. That's why I was quite shocked when Still Wakes the Deep actually got a physical,
yeah,
like pretty much straight off.
yeah,
But yeah, I was just looking. It's roughly about apparently about 5 to 6 hours,
that's not too bad.
which is kind of what you'd expect from something that kind of price anyway.
Yeah, yeah, that's not bad. Not bad. But no, as I say, because it's something completely different, and it's like in a really interesting setting. And as I say, the graphics are gorgeous. I think it's all just come together really well from my initial impressions with the graphics, the story, and I say it's very slow. So there's a lot of conversation going on between you and your partner. So it feels kind of chilled out at the same time, like you're playing through a detective movie. Um, yeah, that's all I can really say, to be honest, mate. I think you'd really like it, Darren. To be honest,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really
it, like.
do.
Uh,
And I hope they do bring out a physical, but I think we're starting to get to that point where less and less games are hitting physical. So,
we say
um,
that, but then every now and again you'll see like Boris Runs to the Shops 5 or something getting a physical edition, and so you just never know what games will and which games won't. And
yeah,
that's even when like big company games like don't even actually make it.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, hopefully they do, mate, for your sake, because I really
but
want
yeah,
to
it's on
get.
my wish list. I
Yeah.
always wish list a lot of stuff. It's like that. I've forgotten the name of the game. There was like a Bloodborne-inspired Metroidvania that came out
Oh, okay.
the end of last year, and that's getting a physical copy soon within the next month or so.
Oh, nice.
So I shall be picking that one up.
Cool to the beans. So yeah, that's Nobody Wants to Die. Came out this week. Highly recommend it from initial impressions. Check it out. Boom. Darren, to you.
Ooh, there's really only been like two big games. Well, two games I've been sort of like putting a lot of time into this week. And yes, even been managed to game in this horrible weather we've had the last 3 days.
Oh, it's been baking, isn't it?
It's just been horrendous. Like one of the days was like super hot, and the other days have just been like humid and horrible.
I think it was Friday night that was roasting hot, and I couldn't get to sleep till about 2 in the morning, just because it was just so fucking hot. It was unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember like completely and utterly sort of like passing out.
Yeah.
I think it was on the thingy. But yeah, I might as well go into what's it, because you'll be talking about the other one, wouldn't you, as well?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
one of the games you've been playing. So yeah, the First Descendant.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been playing more of that. I have now. Well, I'm currently in the process of unlocking my 5th character.
Wow,
Like
you've
they're
really
just
been
being
playing it.
researched. Yes, and like that. That's why I laughed earlier, because on one of the missions you're constantly doing to obviously get the materials, because obviously they
Yeah.
don't necessarily want to give you all these characters for free.
Yeah.
Hence the fact that because it's a free game as well.
Yeah.
So I was farming this mission over and over and over again for a 20% drop, and it was just like, oh no, here's a Morphous something number 30. And it's just like every time. So I don't want that shit. I want the blueprint. Thank you very much. I can make my character. But it's almost like the game knows that it's the last piece you need. So it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
if you want it, you're going to literally have to stuff yourself through this cheese grater of pain and anguish until you come out the other side all upset and raw. So yeah, I ended up doing it. It was annoying because that one took the longest time to get, because it was the most annoying mission to do, because it
Yeah.
had quite an annoying boss at the end of it. So yeah, I still like the game as a free to play. I think it's pretty cool. But there's definitely a couple of issues with it per se that I could see becoming maybe an issue down the line if a lot of people start dropping off the game.
Yeah.
And that's the fact that some of the missions you go into, if you try doing them on your own, you're just going to get absolutely destroyed.
Yeah,
Like,
I've had that a few
absolutely
times myself.
destroyed. Like, and you'll go into certain areas, like in the story, and you want to carry on with the missions, and it's like, I can't, because there's no one here doing the mission I need to do.
Yeah.
So I get it. Like, yeah, go join the Discord, flap about, do all this and the rest of it, get Pudster and myself or whatever on it to help you through with that. That'd be fine. But then once you've got through that, you have those Colossus battles.
Yes. Yeah.
And at the start, they were quite enjoyable and fun. Later on, they're not. They're cheap and horrible, and they can cause you to lose over an hour of your time, and you get nothing from a failure.
Oh, how annoying.
You don't get any experience for your guns, nothing. No, not even a little bit of pity money or anything. It's just like, no, you just literally get nothing. You just wasted 10 minutes of your life fighting this thing that team wiped your entire group because it did a move and then placed everyone in the center of the move as it went off, which is cheap and horrible, basically. So yeah, if you go in and do some of those, like I'll say the middle one and the fire giant kind of type of one, if you go into those with people all the same level as yourself who aren't overpowered and going back, good luck clearing those, because you could be stuck on them, like I said, for over an hour until you end up paired up with someone who's completely OP and just goes in and fucking kicks it into the sun, basically.
Yeah.
And then when that happens, you celebrate like fuck, because you're like, yeah, I can continue with the game now.
Yeah,
I can go off and get better level weapons and stuff and actually like go back and help other players clear this piece of shit.
You know, the missions I've been hating the most are the ones where you have to collect all them fucking orbs and go on those platforms.
They shouldn't be in the game. Like, they don't serve any purpose at all. I think they're literally there where someone in the office was like, oh, we've got to come up with something different. You can't have all the missions the same. Like, the best ones to me are the ones where you basically just kill shit.
Yeah, that's it.
Or the ones where you kill things, pick up the canisters and take them to the machine and drop them off. Job done.
Yeah, because one of those
the story
games...
missions can be fun.
Oh, sorry, mate, yeah.
the
Yeah,
dungeons where you match up with people.
yeah, because they're not super long, are they? They're 10, 15 minutes ish.
Yeah,
But as I was saying a second ago, it's one of those games for me. I mean, I've been skipping all the story stuff, but it's one of those games I want to just jump in some party chat, just chat shit and shoot dudes in the face.
yeah.
But I mean, I'm enjoying it, but I've not played it as much as you or Pudstar. I've almost leveled up my first character. I'm about 2 levels off maximum on my first one, so I've
Yeah,
not
see,
been. Yeah.
I could start basically sticking pins in you if you want. Um, so basically, there's quite a few systems in there that are from Warframe,
Right.
which I've never played. You've kind of played them.
Yes.
Pudster's obviously played it. So I was basically sort of explaining to him, like, your mastery level goes up like hardly at all after a certain amount of time.
Right.
And then Pudster has basically said, yes, you need to level new descendants and new weapons. It's your
Ah.
descendants and weapon proficiencies that will increase your mastery ranks.
Right.
And I was like, that makes sense why it was kind of going nowhere and grinding to a halt.
Mm.
But also in the game, you can unlock catalysts where you set the modules to your character or your weapons to
Yeah.
basically upgrade different aspects of the gun, like the fire rate, the crit chance, the damage, all that kind of stuff. So each one of those modules you socket has a different symbol on them. You can set symbols to those module areas for your character or your gun, which means if you slot something of the same symbol in it, it will use half the capacity of what it says it is, which is how
Okay.
you load up and start powering up your characters. Every time you add a module to a weapon or your character, it will reset their level back to 1.
Fucking hell. Okay.
And then you'll have to regrind them up to 40 again before you can set another one. Which is probably one of the reasons why you jump into missions and you'll see characters running around there at like level 20 in a level 50 something mission.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not because they're technically a level 50 character, it's because they've socketed stuff
Yeah.
and they've respected the character and they have to build it back up again.
Right.
Now, re-earning the experience for a character you've already leveled to 40 won't grant you any extra mastery either,
So
because they've
that's
obviously thought about that.
proper grind fest then.
Yeah.
That's
So
what these free to play
it
games
kind
are
of
like.
is and it isn't, but if all those kind of things weren't there in an aspect, if you were the person who just literally didn't really do much else, you could probably hammer the fuck out of it, get everything you wanted and be out the door and you
Yeah.
wouldn't come back to it.
Yeah. So they thought
And the
about it
whole
to keep
idea,
people in. Yeah.
the whole idea is to keep people playing, keep people coming back. And at the moment, it's still populated. There's still a lot of people playing it. The zones are all populated and stuff, even though you can only have 3 or 4 people in a zone
Yeah.
at a time, which makes sense why if you're in a field zone and you say invite me or Pudstar, if that zone's got 4 people in it, we can't join,
I
which is
know.
why it
Yeah.
doesn't let us join the party. You can only really do it from Albion or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm still having fun. It is very grindy, but it is still kind of cool unlocking characters for free
Yeah.
at the end of the day. And they also announced on August the 1st, it's either the 1st or the 2nd, one of those days, that a character I actually want to come as a descendant is actually coming to the game as a descendant, which is nice.
Cool.
You'll meet them in the story, and
Okay.
they're announced as a descendant, and you're like, this character just fucking looks cool. Like, why aren't they in the game yet? And it's like, because they're going to add them. Like,
Yeah.
they're obviously going to drip feed to
Of
keep
course
people
they
there.
are. Yeah.
So I think it's Luna's coming and Ultimate Valby as well is going to be turning up.
Yeah, that's
So
cool.
yeah,
I will say that. I mean, it's got some Destiny vibes to it as well, but After playing this for quite a bit the last few weeks, I do feel a bit ripped off buying that latest Destiny expansion because I feel like I've got more fun and playtime out of a free to play game than I did buying the fucking 20 odd quid on the expansion for Destiny.
Mm.
And that was only the base version. I know people that paid like 70 quid for the um new expansion plus the season, and the season started now. And I'm like, fucking hell, just play a free to play game instead, Save your
Yeah.
cash.
I will say the season pass on the what's it is reasonably decent, to be honest, on
On Destiny or
the First Descendant.
Oh, right, yeah.
So if you actually get to the end of the season pass, like rank 95, I think it is the last level.
Yeah.
You will earn back, because it's 500 credits, which is something like about 8 quid, something like that. But you'll earn back 300
Okay.
of those credits. So it technically only costs you around 200, which is about 4 quid.
Right.
£3.50, 4 quid, and obviously you're getting like a reasonable amount of items, even though a lot of them are just going to be buffs and boosters and things like that. But some of them are emotes and weapon skins and all that kind of stuff. And to progress in the Battle Pass, you do earn Battle Pass XP for doing all the different activities in the game.
Yeah.
But you earn a majority of them from completing daily and weekly challenges.
Right, okay.
Which reset at the moment, I think, at 8 a.m. And when you complete them, they give you like a huge chunk. So they give you enough each day to go up 2 ranks at least.
Okay.
And the weeklies will put you up. If you do all of them, you'll go up 8 ranks.
Okay.
So it's kind of there, but not many people really know about the weeklies and stuff, because I sort of asked Pudster what his dailies were, and he was like, "Oh, I've never really looked." And I was like, "You should, because you get free."
There's too many menus, mate.
Stuff.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I must admit, the menu thing is kind of a bit confusing at the moment. But there was someone basically did state, because this is very much like Warframe, they said this game is in a much better place at launch than Warframe was at launch, and obviously look at what Warframe is now compared to how it was when it launched.
Yeah.
So things will get ironed out. They have actually started to listen to the players more and change things here or there that people kind of have an issue with. One of the main issues that people are having with now is you'll go into like some of those dungeon missions, which are like the 15, 20-minute runs with 4 of you when you're going through a map, fighting a couple of bosses. One of the main issues they have is you'll have someone that just goes AFK at the start of the dungeon.
Oh, dickheads.
And then just joins for the final boss, takes the shit and leaves. The other downside is it's quite an easy fix, in my opinion. So some of the rarest actual materials drop from the mid-boss. So these are just materials, they're not items, they're like crafting materials. So people will come in, kill the mid-boss, and then just leave.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And you're like, great! Now there's only 3 of us instead of 4. Thanks for that. And obviously some of the bosses can be a bit of a bugger depending on what levels you're actually doing.
Yeah.
Because the last boss can drop those materials, but there's no guaranteed chance he will. It's just the middle one that will. Easy fix for that. The middle boss maybe does. Last boss guaranteed. That fixes that. That stops people leaving halfway through. Because there's a lot of people doing that for certain characters. I've had that 3 times today when I was running through dungeons. It was like, there's the boss down, take the shit, and they leave. And you're like, I know exactly what that person's doing. Tosser.
Yeah, because they even put a notice up when you launch the game about that, haven't they?
Yeah.
That's a little bit annoying, yeah.
No. The other thing is obviously when I'm in the game, I tend to mute my mic on the PlayStation because I'm not too sure if obviously it picks up when you're in a party, because technically you're in a party. I can't hear any other people speaking.
Yeah.
But obviously it's just in case like some of my abuse comes like through the mic when people like quit out and that.
Yeah. I know what you like, mate. Yeah.
yeah. Potty mouth.
Yeah.
So
A little bit.
yeah, just a tad.
Yeah. Brilliant.
But yeah, that's First Descendant. Still sticking with it at the moment.
It's a good
Still
game,
kind of
mate.
enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm dipping in that. I've actually stopped playing it on the Steam Deck now because it's weird. Like when it launched, it seemed to run alright. But when I was playing it this week, after a couple of minutes, it would just boot me back to the main menu of the game like constantly, and it was just doing my head in. It was, I think, it's a known issue, and I'm unsure if they fixed it now, but I just haven't played it on there since.
Right.
So yeah, it's just a little bit annoying, but yeah, it's good, mate. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. So excelente.
Yeah, the Last Faith was the game I was trying to think of earlier.
Right. Okay.
It's getting a physical in next month or so.
Cool. Right. I did try another game, and I didn't play it for long, about half an hour, and I didn't think it was very good. Game. It's like an MMO on Steam called Once Human.
Oh, I actually think this looks kind of good. It's more of a crafting kind of game, isn't it? Than
Yeah, but it was just like so. It
another
kind of,
Korean developer as well.
it like so when I started it, it kind of reminded me of like a really shit MMOs that I've played in the past. Apparently, it's made by some of the people. Like some, I saw some reviews saying that a lot of people reminded them of Secret World, another MMO that I was really excited for, and it ended up being a bit poo. And this just
What
feels.
was the Yeah, sorry, I was
Yeah,
just
go on, mate.
reminded me of a weird one from back in the day that kind of had a weird name like that. You were kind of like teenage kids, but you all had like weird abilities and stuff. I thought it was like EA or something like that sort of published it or wanted to make it.
Doesn't ring a bell to me, mate.
Yeah, no, this is going back a good decade or so.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Someone's probably like, oh, yeah, that might have been this. Yeah.
So anyway, it felt just quite generic because like you wake up in this kind of like experimental lab or whatever, and then you get like a melee weapon. And you're just running around just killing these shitty enemies. I'm trying to find where it is on there. Yeah, and you come across this weird bird thing. Yeah, and it just felt just very generic, and I was just like, ugh, I don't know if I can be fucked with this.
It's all fantastical, though, isn't it? All the creature designs and stuff. It's all really surreal and odd.
That's what kind of drew me to it because that that weird shit I thought looked quite cool, but the combat itself is just really janky, like really clunky. It feels like a bit of an afterthought, to be honest. And then you get out of this place, and then you get into like an open world zone, and it just wasn't what I expected because it, as you say, I think the game is more of kind of like a survival base building game. So you go out, collect stuff like wood and crap, and then build up your base. And you got
isn't ammo quite scarce? You have to like craft your own ammo and stuff.
Yeah, and you just got to really just use your melee weapons. So anyway, you get out, and then you can explore the woods and shit like that, and it's like that typical chop down a tree to get wood, break up a rock to get rocks, and then break up some gold rocks to get minerals like gold and shit. And I was just like, it just feels super generic. And I get that people like these survival base building games. Right?
Oh, they're huge, yeah.
Not really my cup of tea. So probably why I was just like, oh, not another one. But also, it's doing what Escape from Tarkov does, and it does a wipe every season. So, like, a season ends, you've got to start again.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. So I was like, well, I'm out because I'm going to put all this effort into building my base and making my dude super cool. And then I'm 6 weeks or whatever, it's going to get wiped and I have to start again. So fuck that.
Yeah, you're
shit.
not really going to get too many people coming in midway through a season, are you? You're
No.
kind of putting off people even bothering to start until the next season starts.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
Bizarre.
like this whole notion of wipes, and this is something that annoys me with Escape from Tarkov, even though I've not. So I'll just move
That's
my mic
just that's mainly just an extraction shooter, though, isn't it? Or do
Yeah,
they just want everyone's character
no,
progress and
because
weapons and stuff?
yeah, so your character gets buffed, so you can get like better bullets and guns and stuff like that. So you get like midway through a season on, say, Escape from Tarkov, and if you're a noob, you're going to get destroyed because the other people in the level you're in have better bullets, so kill you easier, and have better armor and stuff. So they're going to take more damage than you, so you're at a massive disadvantage. And on this, it's like you're putting all that effort to build your base and shit, as I say, and then it'll get wiped. Like fuck that. And I know it's like it looked like, but the thing that drew me to it was it looked fantastical. Like the weird creatures, and I thought, oh, this looks interesting, and it's a free to play. And I was like, within half an hour, I was like, I'm out. It's not for me. And it's just a shame, And I think some of it is I don't have the time for it, and it's just, I don't know how popular this is going to be.
What's the price point on
it's free. It was free to play.
All right, that's not too bad then.
So, but I don't know how egregious the in-game purchases are, because I didn't get that far to look at it, But it seems like it's a bit like a defense game. So you build your base, and on the video now, there's like this big monster like coming towards the base and wanting to destroy your base. So maybe have a little bit of like tower defense to it as well. Maybe put your defenses down and destroy the mobs coming in and stuff. So I think if you put the effort in, it might be fun. But yeah, can't be fucked with it. But yeah. It's a shame because when I saw it on Steam, I got all excited and then was bitterly disappointed half an hour later. So, yeah, there's that. So that's Once Human. Back to you, Darren.
Well, I'll leave you to talk about Final Fantasy. Probably be the easiest thing.
All right.
Yeah, the only other thing is I did the finished the season pass on Street Fighter 6, which is always a happy time. It means you can,
new characters?
No, they haven't added any of them yet. I think M. Bison was the last one they added.
Right.
To be frank, but yeah, I will just briefly mention I haven't played it yet, but I did mention Diablo 4. Is it 4 or 5? It's 4, isn't it?
Diablo 4, yeah.
The newer one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's actually new season has started on that. It started last week.
There's a new character, isn't there?
Not yet. That's not until the expansion, which is, I want to say, in a couple of months' time. So I'm guessing this season will run until that character gets and expansion gets launched.
Right. Okay. I've given up on that game, mate. I don't know why.
It's a weird one. Like I do have that kind of thing of like I'm a bit bored. I've been through it before and all the rest of it. But every time I sort of stick it on, I do find myself having fun because it is still a fun game to play. It's just going to be interesting to see where it goes as a game after obviously the other one launches later in the year.
Oh, Path of Exile.
Path of Exile 2, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just got a bit bored of starting a new character every season and just doing the same shit and then leveling up and then turning it off. It's just like, I can't be fucked with this anymore. It's kind of just felt same old to me, So.
Understandable.
Yeah. Cool. Is that all you've played?
Well, yeah, obviously I've put quite a bit into
Final Fantasy.
Well, not necessarily Final Fantasy, the First Descendant.
Oh, yeah.
So So actually, I'll tell you how much I've put into it, because it's 75 hours.
Wow. Wow.
It comes up
Crazy.
on your play time.
Yeah. Wow. Cool. All right, I want to jump onto Final Fantasy talk. I'm not going to talk about it for long because I know people are like, fucking hell, 10 plus years you guys have been going on about this. Fucking sort it out. I get you, I hear you, but, you know, it's one of our most played games. I completed it yesterday, completed the expansion, which I was really happy about. Really enjoyed it. It took me longer than I thought to complete it. Actually, probably just haven't put as. I think it was maybe a couple of things. Not had as much time to play as I usually do when an expansion comes out, but
Yeah.
also it's quite a lot of content as well. And
It felt
even
like it.
yeah, and even though I completed the expansion story, which I actually quite because I think I mentioned a few when I started it, I was a bit like, oh, it's a bit meh, but actually come out of it, really liking where it ended up, and I completely agree with you on the last area that you mentioned last week. However,
All right.
I will say there's quite a bit of post game content that I've added to my quests, shall we say. And one of them is a dungeon run, I
Yeah.
believe, in that area, but it looks like how it was originally, which I think might. I mean, I've not done the dungeon run yet, so I don't know. But I thought, oh, that's actually quite cool that they've done that. But I really enjoyed it. Actually, I had a lot of dungeons in the expansion, which I really liked. And I say the story actually ended up being really good. I really liked all the new areas. It was just nice to get back into 14 properly because I do dip in and out of it. Yeah, because it's just like playing through another single player RPG, but obviously just carrying on the story. So that's all I want to say on it, really, because I know people would like, fuck's sake. But really, really good. Really enjoyed it, and was a lot of fun.
That's good to say. But yeah, I finished it this week as well.
Oh, excellent! Both of
It was
us.
obviously earlier in the week.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it, apart from the last area, but that's just like my own sort of weird thing. Like it, yeah, it was just kind of a bit weird, and you knew roughly what was going on with a couple of characters and stuff, but
Yeah.
it was still like executed well, we should say.
Yeah, I think so.
So now the only sort of issue I have is gear space. I don't have any real space left for gear or leveling gear for my characters anymore, which is kind of irritating. They need to figure out a way of um, storing more items in the armoire or something.
Yeah, I mean, I have that problem, and I only really run one class, and then when I want to do another class, I'm like, oh, I'm fucked. So I can't imagine what it's like for you because you run quite a few. So your gatherers and stuff and things, bits and bobs.
Well, yeah, that's it. I mean, it's at the moment all of my gatherers are in like a universal outfit, so every sort of off main patch they'll do like here's a crafter or gatherer set that all of them can use, like the
Oh,
miner,
yeah,
the
yeah,
botanist, and the fisher, etc. But at the moment, if I want the upgraded versions of the outfits I'm wearing to get what I want, they've all
yeah,
got their own individual gear sets, and it's
yeah,
like, all right, so that's basically I'll need to find at least another 15 gear space slots, and that's just for the gatherers.
yeah. It is a pain in the arse. I do need to do something.
I mean, one of the things that they could do that's pretty obvious, again, it's obvious to myself, but obviously not necessarily for the programmers, is make all of the your class gear, like, you know, the outfit you get when you reach a certain level, it's like your job gear.
Yeah.
Let you store that in the armoire, not in the glamour dresser, in the armoire as job gear.
Yeah.
Because it's generally the class gear, and there's some really good class gear. But when we're now in like the 6th expansion, there's 6 sets of job gear for at least 12 classes. And then for every other expansion, or every other expansion going forward, there's extra jobs on top of that have also got job outfits and job gears.
Yeah.
That are all going to end up on retainers or in your glamour thing that can only hold a certain amount.
Yeah.
It is a bit of a pain in that sense. Whereas I've heard with Warcraft, and even technically in Diablo, once you've basically jobbed in an item, you can use it as a glamour whenever you want.
Oh, right, that's cool.
It goes into like a list, and then you can just set it whenever you want.
Oh, right, okay.
So, because obviously you keep a lot of your stuff for glamours, and then obviously, like you've noticed, a lot of the raid gear and stuff recently is like been pretty cool. People are going to generally want that for glamours and such, aren't they? Like the set with the arm shoulder pad things on fire.
Oh, that's what I've got, yeah.
Like yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm going to move on, mate, to something that people won't moan at me about. I've only played 2 other games, actually, mate. Have you played anything else before I rattle on?
No.
Okay.
No, not really.
All right. So, obviously, played a tiny bit of iRacing. Oh, and I also played some Forza with Gav, actually, yesterday. I know I moaned about it last week, but I fancied jumping on with Gav because I saw him on and we had some good races. So that was quite fun. So I don't really know what else I can say about that. And obviously played a little bit of iRacing today. Enjoyed that. That's my racing stuff out the way. But the other game that I still haven't finished, and it's so long, but I'm absolutely loving it, is the Talos Principle 2. I'm still rinsing through it, man. It's a great game, and I've noticed actually that there's quite a few expansions for it, which I will probably purchase once I finish the main game. That's how much I love it. So I'm getting towards the end of the game, I believe, because there's like 4 big areas, and then in each area there's 3 other areas full of puzzles that they eat. So there's like in each zone there's 3 areas, and each area has 8 puzzles you have to solve plus 2 optional ones, which I always do. So I've got like 10 puzzles to do per area, and then you got to go into this other place in that area, and then things happen. So it's quite slow going because obviously the puzzles are very tricky and they do take some time to work out. But I think I think I really bigged it up last week, and I'm just gonna say it again. This game is just absolutely amazing. I absolutely love it. Like, each area is drop dead gorgeous. The puzzles are really well done. It's like Myst on steroids, to be honest. And as I mentioned last week, the story with the other robots and talking about humanity and gods and all this other stuff, it's just so cool, man. I'm just really loving playing through it at the minute, just taking my time doing the puzzles. It's a great game, really, really is. And again, I'm going to say I really highly recommend it. That's what I've played. So yeah, it's a great game, man. Absolutely great. So that's all the games played. Into some news. I mentioned Concord last week. funnily enough. I'm just going to give it a very brief mention now. The open beta was out. On Steam, this is how much of a flippy flop this game is, no matter what the media is trying to tell you. It peaked at just over 1,100 players in an open beta. Oh dear. And on its final day of being an open beta, it had less than 50 players. Ouch. So that game's going to flippy flop big time. So my advice is do not purchase it because you'll end up with a dead game within a few months. You'll have no one to play with.
I mean, it will be interesting to see what happens to that after, if it does obviously not do particularly well, because it's a Sony a Sony Studios game, isn't it?
Yeah.
So would they want to sort of give themselves the reputation of like, yeah, we can shut this off every now and again, like?
Yeah, I know. Well, but there's been a few other flippy flop PlayStation games, hasn't there? I don't think they were actually Sony games. What was that one by Squaresoft where you like the fucking Splatoon clone game? I forget the name.
Foam Stars. They're still going.
Yeah, but it's not.
I think they're still going.
It hasn't got a lot. I don't think it's got a very big player base though. Because I was struggling to find games when I was trying to play it about a month ago with Marcus. And then there's that other Sony game where you're in the car and then you jump out the car when it gets destroyed and you find another one. Destruction All Stars, I think it's called.
Yes.
Yeah, that's, again, not many people playing that because we're struggling to find games on that as well. So, yeah. So, yeah, Concord, big flippy flop. Resident Evil 7. I do not know why they did this. They released it onto iOS. Why?
Well, they've done that with a few games, haven't they? They've stuck on iOS. I don't know why.
Well, this is the thing, right? These big games do not suit mobile devices, and this proves it. It's sold less than 2,000 copies on iOS. Fucking pointless. It's just shocking, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not particularly great.
No, not worth the effort at all. Awful. So, yeah. For those of you that like to play Hunt Showdown, I know it is a really good game. I wish I had people to play it with because I think it's a really fun game. There's a new game coming out. It's been leaked by the ratings board. They seem to do a lot of leaks. Called Hunt Showdown 1896, coming for PlayStation 5, PC, and Xbox. It's going to be set in the Victorian era. Players are going to use bladed bats, clubs, brass knuckles, and pistols to kill zombie-like creatures and human rivals. All sounds cool. So, not sure on any release dates or anything like that. It's just a leak. So, take from that what you will. PS5 Pro had been rumoured to be coming out this year. Now there's rumours that it's not going to come out this year. Or even if there's one even coming out ever. But there's rumours this week that it's not coming this year if there is one to be coming.
I saw that it was still on track to come out this year, but
okay, well that's sort of rumours.
It's just it's all rumours at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah. And my last bit of news I picked up this week, I don't know how true this is, but there's rumours coming out from the channel Gameranx, quite a popular YouTube channel, that Helldivers 2 will be coming to Game Pass at the end of this month. I thought Helldivers 2 was a Sony game.
It is, but then obviously you've probably got a little bit of give and take. It's not like a first-party Sony game, is it? It's a third-party, and if you look, quite a few Microsoft games are heading over. They've already headed over, haven't they? Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't surprise me if this was a little thing. Plus, the game is a live service, and this would help.
Yes.
Obviously, bring the numbers back because people are like, oh, the numbers have dropped off for Helldivers, and it's like, right, it's an oldish game. There may or may not be stuff going on in it at the moment.
Yeah.
And also, there's a lot of other new games coming out recently that people have probably thought, oh, I'll give that a play.
Yeah. Yeah, was it Steam charts? How many players? Yeah. No, well, that Once Humans get quite a lot of players, actually. Helldivers. Quite interesting to see how many people playing it on Steam.
270 or like...
Helldivers 2. Well, it's actually still got quite a good player base on Steam. So the last 30-day average is 28,253 players, which is still a decent amount of people playing, actually, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, though, like at the end of the day, they're going to add new factions and stuff like that, aren't they? So
yeah. PUBG is still in the top 4.
How is Thingy doing? Like immensely well, as I'd imagine.
What's Thingy?
The fucking shooter game that's just like huge on fucking...
What, Counter-Strike?
Yeah.
It's still number 1, mate. Yeah. Currently, there's 983,443 people playing it.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, crazy. There's a game called Banana that has 457,299 players. Now, I saw something about this. Oh, Angelos is leaving. See you later, Angelos. It's basically a game where you just click on a banana.
All right. What do you actually do? Or get from that?
You get something. I'm not sure. Banana is a clicker game in which you click a banana. You click the banana to game even more bananas. Yeah, I don't know why. I saw something about you get like the card Steam cards or something, and they were selling for quite a bit of money. The trading cards, the Steam trading cards.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's why. Yeah, weird. Steam's a weird place, mate. But yeah, you got the usuals currently, man. That's fucking mental. Games.
I mean, Counter-Strike's technically a new game anyway because they sort of rejigged it, didn't they?
Well, they just updated the graphics a little bit and slapped a 2 on the end. That's pretty much all they did. But yeah, man, I I can't remember what I was talking about. Helldivers 2. Yeah, it's still doing well. So I think obviously the player base has dropped massively from what it was, but it's still got a lot of players. So I think they're okay. That's all the news, man. That's literally all the news I've got. Done. Someone's trying to open my door.
I was going to say, don't have pets, do you?
Anything else you wanted to add, Darren?
No, not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Cool. I think we're at the end. An hour, just over an hour. Not bad.
Possibly a new record.
Oh no, it's pretty quick, but that's fine because I've got things I need to do anyway. Empty some bins and maybe play some games. We shall see. So,
calm down and sort of chill out a little bit.
Yeah.
Try and catch up on some of that sleep you missed.
Yeah, too right.
The other day.
Yeah, mate, too right. Cool. All right, Darren. I think we can call it a day then, mate.
Yes.
So from me, Mark Webb, gamertag, PSN ID, Steam ID, a Webby, a 360, a G.
and Sensei Switch.
So from both of us here, it's been awesome. We will see you next week. Goodbye.